Has now been released from that place in Turkey. And again, today was the day that I think it's Khashoggi has been reported as being murdered. But if he was murdered, that's the strangest thing is by 12 assassins, and that the 12 was pilots apparently in 2001 involved in such a thing. It makes me think, what's going on? 12 assassins, 12 pilots destroyed airplanes. Again, they said 15 actually went onto the airplane, but 15 in an airplane and 15 also were involved in going into the embassy. Now, if there's 15 in the embassy, apparently 3 of them are kind of people who work with bodies. They reckon that one of them was to do with that side of things. He knows about bodies. Anyway, the thing is, there was 15 and there was 12 actual killers involved, 12 assassins, and there was 15 involved in hijacking the airplanes in 2009, well, 911, remember? So, but there was actually, if I remember, 12 trained pilots who did the suicide mission. Now, the interesting thing is that these numbers are weird, why they work at such as like a smoking gun anyway. But these numbers are strange because it makes you think what's going on. The Bible talks about 12 patriarchs, and then it talks about the 12 apostles in the New Testament. It's like their God is not our God. Do you know, it says that their Jesus comes back to the earth, chases after a Jew, and kills him in Jerusalem. Their Jesus didn't die on a cross. It says that their Jesus was what? They say he was a prophet, but then they say he was not dead on a cross. He did not die on a cross for our sins of the world and suffer in the place of sinners so we can make peace with God and get to heaven, so he can make peace for us with God. As our advocate, our lawyer with God the Father in heaven's court, we are now the guilty on earth. We become justified before God because of our sins are dealt with, right? But there, Jesus, it says, did die on a cross. They said Judas died on a cross. So, as I say, their God is not the same as our God. Their belief is not the same as our belief. The thing is if they marry a 9-year-old and all the leaders, follow the 9-year-old, married a 9-year-old, the thing is, if the young people they have in their religion marry young, like it happens in North Nigeria, a lot of people follow the teachings. They then find that there's 30,000 bladders ripped open of young women every year because they're marrying too young, and their bladders are ruined for the rest of their lives. Their lives are ruined. This is the thing when they marry in too young. So I said they're not loving their neighbours themselves because they're not loving their young women, okay, as they should. Anyway, just pointed it out. So that's why I was looking at this report about, as I said, the Khashoggi. That's what we're looking at on the news today. So Khashoggi, that's his name, Japan, whatever. In the embassy found they chopped him up. Unbelievable. Chopped him up, they reckon. How can they chop his body up? How can they sew him up and then take him out in a van? I mean, that is crazy. The whole idea of it, coming from another country. Who would sponsor it? Who would do it? Who would pay? I mean, unbelievable. I mean, look what's happened with, they reckon, with those poor old Russians attempting their lives in our country. Again, who on earth was behind that? Hardly Putin. What would he gain for it? Although he does want to see those types of traitors dead, because they are kind of Judases, Anyway, I gotta go. But you don't do it in other people's countries, do you? What's this button? There. Anyway, that's it. So I might as well knock it off. Anyway, good news today about the American pastors released. And I say they're investigating this Khashoggi incident. Let's just hope that they find out what's going on there, and we can't have people going around sending assassins, murdering people in these embassies, that's for sure.